All right, we're on week 2 as we look at this thing called romantic. Somebody say it for me.
Romantic.
There you go.
Recovery.
There you go. We're going to talk about relationships and codependency. We're going to talk about being in a relationship with another person who is also in recovery. And then we're going to talk about 13 steps. We're going to look at all 3 of those situations. We got some sniggles and some laughs because this thing called relationships is an important area. We talked about that last week. We started by saying that once we get clean, we get options. It opens up opportunities, right?
That's right.
And we got to make sure we take advantage of those opportunities and not take advantage of people in that thing. And a lot of times we take advantage of people.
That's right.
And we want to stop doing that. Right?
Right.
So, it says relationships and codependencies. Partners of addicts need to adapt to the situation or leave. What does that mean? That means that, okay, whoever you're in relationship with needs to adapt or they need to get away from here because we are different kinds of people that have different kinds of situations, right?
Right.
So if you're not going to adapt, I'm not talking about adapt to us using. I'm talking about adapt to who we are. Because for me, I got to go to meetings, I got to get involved, I got to deal with all y'all, You can't be drinking around me, can't be smoking weed. That's a whole bunch of can'ts to be in a relationship with little old me. Right? And so I need somebody to adapt to that. Or they need to leave. You see what I'm saying? I can't expect for them to compromise, and there are some things that I can't compromise to.
That's right.
That makes sense?
That's right.
It says some of these people will adapt by becoming codependent. We don't want them to become codependent. That means where their whole life revolves around us. They need to have their own life. They don't need to be codependent. Right. See, what happens is when they become codependent, they need you to stay in your using cycle.
Right.
Because that's what the relationship was predicated on. You got it? The relationship was predicated on you using. So now you get clean, you disrupt the apple cart. Because they were used to being in charge. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
So if we disrupt, if we stay in that same cycle, that gives them something to be a part of?
Absolutely, because that was the original dynamic of the relationship that they done got comfortable with. They done got comfortable with fixing you and solving problems. They done got comfortable with making all of the decisions in the house. Now you come home like my brother over here, and now you got an opinion because you got some money. Well, that ain't the way the relationship is designed. The relationship is designed, you give me your money and shut up.
That's right.
Just by you getting clean is just, I'm not saying they don't want you to be clean. Codependency is an illness just like addiction. And they have become codependent. And so they've gotten used to that dynamic. No matter how sick and painful it is, that's the dynamics that the relationship has been on. And I've seen so many couples break up because the loved one got clean. Not because they getting high, they stayed through getting high. What that person couldn't handle is that person being clean. That's what you're going to have to figure out. Do you really want him clean? Now, that doesn't mean what it sounds like. Yes, you want him clean.
Yeah.
Yes. That's an easy one, right?
That's right.
But him being clean changes everything.
That's right.
It changes how the house operates. It changes how the relationship operates. It changes, codependent people need to be needed.
Yeah.
And now it seems like you don't need me no more.
Right.
So I'm not valuable no more.
Right.
That's not true, but that's one of the illnesses of that. All right? So it said this is where they become so wrapped up in looking after the addict that they begin to lose their own identity. Their identity is in helping you. And now you don't need their help like that no more. They spend their time cleaning up after their partner's mess and making excuses for them. Y'all loved ones are pros at that.
Yeah.
Right? Y'all are long distance truck drivers, y'all are this, y'all are that. They tell all kinds of stories to keep from telling the truth. Y'all in Bible college, y'all are in college. You in everything other than treatment.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
You know, because they're protecting themselves. They don't want to say for the 31st time, you done fell off again. So they make up stories.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
It says when this other person becomes sober, it can be a dramatic change that heavily affects their own lives. When we come clean, it's dramatic to us and everybody. It's good, but it is dramatic.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Because they done got used to telling this story of you.
Yeah.
Now the narrative changed.
Wow.
Now you're just present in the home. One guy, he got clean, he went home, and he and his wife were sitting on the couch, and his son wanted to go over to one of his little friend's house, and the little boy just went straight to his mom and said, "Hey mom, can I go over to John's house?" And he said, "Boy, don't you see me sitting here?" And the son said, "Oh, Dad, I'm so sorry. I just been so used to asking mama because you ain't been here." You know, he was innocent, but it crushed it. The little boy just done what he always been doing. It wasn't an act of disrespect.
That's right.
You know, but now he's at home, and now he wants the respect that's due him. And that's disruptive.
That's right.
Now he got an opinion. You know, now he want to be daddy. Now I want to be husband. Well, shoot, we've been running this thing pretty well without you.
That's right. Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? And now you come in and you the bad guy. Because now, shoot, most of the women are not even used to this. Hey, baby, I was thinking about doing this. What do you think?
Wow.
They ain't had to run nothing by you. Because you were gone. Or you didn't count. Said their identity of the addict's keeper is taken away. You see that? This right here, their identity that they're your keeper, that they're the one that's in charge, they're the one that's helping you. When you get clean, that's taken away. That's an important role that's now no longer there. And they can struggle to find their place in the world. Meanwhile, all the attention will be on the newly sober partner's adjustment. You see that? What that mean? Now you getting all of this attention for just being clean, and these people been holding the fort down for years, and now they envious and jealous like, he ain't doing nothing. But what he been doing all along? You don't get no parade for that, partner. So they envious of that. You know? Don't mean no harm, but we get a whole bunch of attention after a while. And when that attention fades, it's dramatic to us.
That's right.
How long you been gone, Gabe?
From here?
From here.
Just maybe 6 months. Right?
Oh yeah, so he's still in the parade stage.
Yeah.
So everything that he does is big.
Yeah.
But it's fading, I guarantee. After a while, it'll be fading. You know, it's like, oh, okay.
Right.
Oh, okay, so you took your family on a vacation. One time in 7 years. Okay. Whoopee. Okay, so now you paid the bills. Whoopee. You know what I'm saying? It changes from the parade to expectation.
That's right.
And then it changes to you haven't done anything but what you were supposed to do all along. And my sister back there shaking her hand like, no, ain't no parade. You ain't doing nothing but what you should have done, and you should have been doing it long time ago. You late.
Yeah.
So no parade for you. That's dramatic for us.
That's right.
Because we want a parade.
Yeah.
I got paid yesterday. I paid bills. And Grambling didn't play. Not even Prairie View. Jackson State or nobody. It was just a quiet exchange of money. It wasn't even a thank you.
At all.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing. Then nothing happened. Chrissy, nothing. It wasn't like, oh, this is a big deal. Thank you, the band playing. Just, oh, okay. Then she said, you know we need to go grocery shopping, right? Yeah, how much am I give you? No, that don't include groceries, Doc. I'm like, wow, so I got to go back in?
Amen.
You know, I thought that was it.
Wow.
With hardly a thought for how they are coping with the transition. They're jealous because they're not getting your due
Right.
when he comes home, because all the attention go to him. It said it can be a tough time, but there are resources. That's why these meetings like this meeting in Al-Anon is so vitally important, because we've made those people sick and they need to seek their own individual treatment and care. Their own. Or their issues will come out on you and make it difficult for you to stay clean.
Right.
Because they got an illness too, that you either found them sick or you have made them sick.
Okay.
Living with us will make you sick because we're not normal, and we make them do things that's abnormal. We make them go against their very core values. Because it's not normal to be with somebody and you not know when they gonna come home or if they gonna disappear, or you see what I'm saying? That's not normal, and that makes you sick. And so they need to seek their own individual healing. That makes sense? And their illness is one that's silent, because it's not very many people that sister can go and talk to.
That's right.
Because when she go and talk to her friends, they got one answer.
That's right.
Well, leave him.
Yeah.
So if she don't want to leave, she ain't got nobody to talk to. So she don't go and talk to nobody, because that gummit, they ain't gonna do nothing but shame her. What's wrong with you? I wouldn't put up with that. And so since you don't want to hear that, you are in silence. Because I ask every mate that I talk to, I say, who do you talk to? And most of the time, they tell me, nobody. Because we done sent them through the cycle so many times. Now they can't go talk to the people who care most about them because they're ashamed. Because everybody is saying, leave. And it's not their time. See, I believe this here too, and I'm going to move on to the next one. I believe that's some people's assignment. It's your ministry. It ain't for you to lead. A loving God calls you to some situations that's just hard.
Yeah.
It's like a mother. If a mother has a child that's an addict, well, that's still your child. Sometimes you can marry into that, and it's not for you to lead.
Yeah.
So I've seen some women that stay with them jokers for 10, 15 years, then that man get clean, and they live happy and prosperous lives, and they going out and sharing their story and helping other people. It wasn't for them to leave when they was hearing leave. You see what I'm saying? That was their assignment. Like hopefully your wife, it was her assignment to stay.
That's right.
Now y'all can reap the benefits of that. You see what I'm saying? There's a reward for that. And so until God releases them, it's not for them to leave. That makes sense?
That's right.
No matter what, no matter how ugly it sounds, until God has released them, it's for them to stay.
That's right.
And so you got to get with some people who understand that.
Yeah.
And sometimes your own family and friends can't understand why you stay.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? But it was your assignment to stay.
Oh yeah.
All right? That's why I never tell women that they should leave. I just tell them to pray. Or I don't tell men to leave now that we got the warm program. I just say pray. You pray. And until God release you, then that's your ministry.
Wow.
But take care of yourself. You see what I'm saying? But that's your ministry. And your issue is with God. God, why did you assign me to this? It's too much. Make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Now, romantic relationships with other people in recovery. Let me say this again. I've said it all week and I said it last week. That two people in recovery can have a healthy relationship. All right? They can. But you have to be as attracted to the way that person works their program as you are to them physically.
That's right.
And for those of us like my man Archie getting married tomorrow, well, Dana need to be as attracted to the way he work his program as she is to him.
That's right.
That's our agreement
Yeah.
that we have to make with people. Not that we gonna stay clean, that I am gonna stay committed to the process.
Yeah.
And if you're not committed to the process, you don't need to be in no relationship with nobody.
That's right.
Because you are dangerous.
That's right.
We suffer from something that can hurt people. That makes sense?
Oh, yeah.
It says beginning a relationship with another person who is also recovering from addiction can be particularly problematic. One of the main worries is that if one of the couple relapse, it can encourage the other to do the same. That's why you got to be so committed to the process. When you are, I don't care how fine he is or she is, if they ain't working their program, throw rocks at them. Because they are dangerous. Because it's hard to be in a relationship with somebody that's relapsing all the time. You see what I'm saying? And so if you're thinking about that going into the relationship, you're looking at me like, oh man, he is fine. Well, is he working the program?
Yeah.
Is she working the program? Because that's why I did not date somebody in recovery. I had to be honest about, am I built for that? And my truth was, I was not built for that. I'm not built for that. Because I don't know how I could handle them falling off and her running off and her stealing everything out the house and all of the stuff that addicts like me do. Now, all addicts don't do that, but addicts like me. And I didn't want to go through that. Now, that's some hypocritical stuff, being that I am one of those people. And I want somebody to put up with me like that, and I don't want to. Ain't that?
That's right.
That's hypocritical, isn't it?
It's okay.
Be that as it may.
That's right.
That's the choice that I made.
That's right. Amen.
If you are going to consider dating someone in the recovery process, make sure that they are working the program.
Yeah.
Independently of you. You can't be their sponsor. You don't need to be in their support group. They need to have their own program, and you ain't a part of it. Because there's things that they can't share with you. And I ain't talking about their past. I'm talking about their current preference. You can't handle every time they want to go get high, and they sharing with you. Now you throw it out. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And a lot of times, it does. Usually when one partner falls off, the other one falls off. Not all the time, but usually. Because it's dramatic. You know what I'm saying? And the ones that I've seen that don't, it's rough on them. It's rough on them. It says it would be extremely difficult for a recovering addict to maintain a relationship with someone who had relapsed. But ending the romance can be hard. So it's the same thing, y'all, as the loved one that's in a relationship with us. I think that's a thing with prayer and God giving you the timing too. But because you don't know when to end it. Now, our family have to protect themselves from us, right?
Yeah.
But if you're the recovering person, you have to protect the household and yourself. You see what I'm saying? See, if I fall off, Mel needs to protect herself. She needs to protect herself physically. She needs to protect herself financially. She's not an addict, so she don't have to protect her sobriety. But if she was a person in recovery, I would have to protect myself physically from her because we're dangerous, right? I would have to protect the finance and the household, and I would have to protect my sobriety. It will be some places I can't go looking for her.
That's right.
I can't go to knocking on every crack house door trying to get her. You see what I'm saying? She can't come in the house high. You know, it's dramatic if I walk in the house and she's sitting in the living room smoking crack. That's a trigger for me. You see what I'm saying? So I would have to say, although I love you, you can't stay here. That's dramatic to put your mate out. Those of us who have been put out, don't you know how hard that has to be for the person that loves you to say, you can't stay here. You got to go and get some help. That ain't an easy thing to do.
That's right.
That's not easy, y'all.
That's right.
That would be hard for me to have to tell Mel, but if she's smoking crack in the house, she got to go.
Yeah.
Or me, somebody got to go. Because in that situation, I am more important than her. You with me? Because if ain't no need of both of us getting high.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? And so I gotta protect me so that I can help her when she get back on track. Y'all with me? And so that's what that is. But it's hard to end because you don't know when to end it. I think it is when God releases you. That's my opinion. Now, everybody makes that decision differently. You know, and I thank God that some people stuck in there with me. You know, that's why I let y'all come back. The people that's in intervention come back so often because, shoot, somebody stuck with me. And that's why I believe every time you come back, it's your time.
Yeah.
So I don't keep a count of how many times you come back. Just come back and get the program straight. Now, if I were married to you, I don't know about that. You know, it'd be different. You know, like, hey, now. Because it don't directly affect me. You ain't living with me. You ain't stealing my TV. Romantic relationships with others in recovery. Another reason why romance between people in recovery tends to be frowned upon is that both people will be taking a lot of baggage into the relationship. This means that it is doomed from the start. You need to make sure if you are going to date somebody in recovery that they have dealt with their mess. That makes sense?
Yes, sir.
That they have dealt with their stuff. Because we have baggage, y'all. That's why it's so vitally important that when we meet with the counselors, that we go in there and really seek counseling. When we get a sponsor and work the steps, we need to work the steps because you don't want to take this old distrust and hurt and brokenness into a new situation. You with me? See, when I got here, I wasn't fit for nobody.
Right.
I was bruised, I was damaged, I was hurt, I didn't trust nobody, I was untrustworthy. That had to be dealt with. Or I was going to be a problem for somebody.
That's right.
And so are you.
That's right.
And so if you haven't dealt with your baggage,
Yeah.
don't go get in a relationship. And let me tell you this, y'all. The programs like this are designed to cover up your baggage.
How so?
How so? is because Herman had the men out there running. We feed them 3 meals a day. Clothes come in and they get it. They learn a whole bunch of scripture and they learn this information. And if they don't use it, now they physically fit. Now they done gain their weight back. They sound good, but they ain't done nothing internally, and they can trick some people.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
You see what I'm saying? I ain't dealt with none of my baggage, but I look good. I sound good, and that lasts for a hot minute.
That's right. That's right.
And a hot minute is relative. For some of us, it lasts for a few months. Some of us, it lasts for a few years before it all implodes on us.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Because, shoot, man, you're going to be much better.
Yeah.
Herman going to have you on that hill. Them cats going to be out.
Yeah.
Them cats going to be having you in the workout room over there at the house.
Yeah.
You know, you eating 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
You going and seeing the doctor, you know,
Yeah.
you either got clothes or you gonna steal clothes out the rack. You know, we turn to a whole nother person, you know it? And if I haven't dealt with that stuff after a while, my character defects and shortcomings
That's right. That's right.
will reveal themselves.
That's right.
Because I can't hide that stuff long.
That's right.
Y'all done that before, right?
Sir.
Because when the pressures of life come on,
Yeah.
it brings out all of that stuff out of me.
That's right.
You
That's
see what I'm saying? And I haven't dealt with it.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me. I had 18 months clean, and it was a ragged 18 months. But I sounded good. You know what I mean? And I would like to think I looked good. I had a little position on my job. I had a sports car. I had a wardrobe. Shoot, I was that dude. But I was raggedy, man. I hadn't dealt with that stuff. And when life happened,
Yeah.
I fell off.
Yeah.
I fell off. Because I was carrying this baggage.
That's right. That's right.
Because I hadn't dealt with my wound.
That's right.
Deal with that while you're here.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Because we've all knew somebody that when you got in a relationship, I'm not talking about dating, just being in friendship with them, and they hadn't dealt with their baggage. You ever dealt with somebody and you ain't cheated on them, and they looking at your phone, they got tracking on you and all that kind of stuff. You're like, whoa, why are you doing this? I ain't the one that done that to you. But they're punishing you for something that somebody else done.
That's right.
We can relate to that, right? And you're like, I ain't the one that done that. So I don't want to pay the penalty of that. And that's a miserable place to be. And I watch y'all all the time walking around with baggage and blaming it on me.
Yeah.
Because I say something to you, you know, you mad at me. And, you know, it be kind of funny sometimes too. You know, it's just because you ain't dealt with your stuff.
Yeah.
Deal with your stuff.
That's right.
All right?
That's right.
If you don't, it's what? Doomed from the start. Here's the other one. 13-7. Somebody tell me what is your definition of 13-7? Come on, Dion, tell me. You're a 13-stepper?
Oh, wow.
I think it's where you skip all the first 12 steps, don't work, and then go straight into a sexual relationship.
Okay, all right. She said you skip all of the steps and go straight into a sexual relationship. Anybody else?
I believe when you decide to do it your way.
Okay, I'll take that too. Anybody else? One more. Yes, sir.
When somebody comes into like recovery and is broken and doesn't know anything about recovery, it's preyed upon somebody that has knowledge of recovery and has 2, 3, 4, 5 years of recovery maybe in them and preys on them and takes advantage of their weaknesses.
Okay, I'll take that. Elijah?
Being in a relationship, in a recovery, and you married.
Okay, all right. I'll take that too. I'll take that too. It says 13 step it refers to a situation where an experienced AA or NA member begins a sexual relationship with a newcomer.
Wow.
That is when someone like me with 26 years clean catch the newcomer
Yeah.
and impress them
Yeah.
with my knowledge of the program and my trappings.
Yeah.
Because now I've been in the fellowship a little while, I got some stuff.
Yeah.
And I either use my stuff or my information to manipulate.